Students studying for the B2 First exam are usually most nervous about the use of English parts of the exam. But actually, it's the easiest part, if you know the grammar. My name is Toby, this is Smash English, and here is everything you need to know about part 2 of the use of English paper for the B2 First Cambridge exam. For part 2 of the use of English paper of the B2 First Cambridge exam, you are given a text, but some of the words in the text are omitted. Oh no, what must we do? You must use your big brain to try and understand what that word is and write it in the space. This is actually super easy if you think about 3 things: the meaning, the function, and the form. So what does that mean? What does the sentence mean? Yes, that sounds like a silly question to ask yourself, but often the missing word is part of a phrasal verb. If you don't know what that phrasal verb should mean in this context, then how do you know which phrasal verb to use? You don't know! Exactly. So the first thing you do is ask yourself, what does this sentence mean? This is for grammatical structures. Often the missing word will be a relative pronoun, an article, a preposition, an auxiliary verb. So think about what the writer is trying to do with the sentence. Are they wishing? Are they giving advice? Are they talking about a likely future, an impossible past, an impossible present? Are they talking about a regret? This helps you identify the grammar structure that you need, and with that information, you can move on to the next step. Once you know the meaning of the sentence, and you know the function of the sentence, you can think about the grammatical form that you are trying to complete. So, let's have a practice. Here is our passage about the glorious Toby. Yeah, all right, shut up. I am glorious, in my own way.
Toby is a hero to many all across the world. Many nations look to him, a source of knowledge and inspiration in times of difficulty. Origins of Toby's powers remain unknown. Some say he was born under a full moon. Others say his mother to whisper magical spells into his ear every night when he was young. Various traditions exist to honor Toby. Some perform rituals, hanging a picture of him above their beds. However, other more complicated practices exist. Many off all their lights in their houses and burn candles whilst singing the words of Smash English videos. Animals have also been used to represent Toby. One woman famously remarked that if Toby an animal, he would be a lion. This is because of his great strength and golden hair. Toby himself is a humble man. He usually goes alone and avoids the company of others. Indeed, if more people were like Toby, the world would be a better place.
Wow, what an exciting read. Let's have a look at our first sentence.
Toby is a hero to many all across the world. Many nations look to him, a source of knowledge and inspiration in times of difficulty.
People are looking to me. But what is the function of a source of knowledge and inspiration? Well, we are talking about why they look to me. What is my function when they look to me? So we need a word that we use to talk about the form or function of something. So the function of a source of knowledge and inspiration is to talk about my function. Right. Confusing. The word we use to talk about a function of something is as. Many students will write like instead, but this is wrong. We do not use like to talk about form or function. We use like to talk about similarity. So that's wrong here. If you don't know about all the different ways that we can use as for the B2 First Cambridge exam, then watch my video about how to use as. You have a video about as? Yes, I do. Watch it.
Origins of Toby's powers remain unknown.
What type of word is origins? A noun. You are a genius. And it is a plural noun, and it is countable. That's not very important. Are we talking about specific origins, or are we talking about all origins in general? No, we're talking about origins that are specific to Toby and Toby's powers. So if we are talking about a specific noun, we know which one we are talking about. We must use a definite article. The origins of Toby's powers. Articles can be tricky, I know, and that's why I've made a video all about articles. Yes! Yeah, this will become a pattern throughout the video. But if there are any answers that you get wrong, well, you can watch a grammar video, learn all about it, and say to yourself, I will never make that mistake again. Thank you, Toby. No, thank you for the view on my video, and the like, and the subscription, and maybe the comment. Bye!
Some say he was born under a full moon. Others say his mother to whisper magical spells into his ear every night when he was young.
So we know Toby's mother did this every night when he was young. So she does not do this anymore. What is the function of the sentence then? To talk about a past routine. Something that was true in the past and happened regularly, but it isn't true now. So can you think of any grammatical forms that fulfill that function? Used to and would. We cannot use both of these. If you look at our sentence, we have the word to. Because we have to, we cannot say would to, so our answer must be used to. Yeah. Oh, hi! Do you know the difference between used to and would? You don't? Wow, that's so interesting. Don't worry, Toby has a great video about it on his Smash English YouTube channel, the best English teaching channel in the universe. Bye!
Various traditions exist to honour Toby. Some perform simple rituals, hanging a picture of him above their beds.
What is the function? Hanging pictures above their beds is an example. It's an example of a ritual, but we only have one word, and we cannot write for example because we only have one word. Students still sometimes write 2 words, and that's embarrassing. What one word can we use in English to introduce an example? Like. Like. It's informal, but it is used very commonly. And in the part 2 of the use of English paper, the open close part, it is very common to get these annoying as and like questions. So you must know the differences between them. I have a video all about like. If you watch it, you will know everything about like. The Cambridge exam is very expensive. Do you want to waste your money and fail? All because you did not know the meaning of a word like? Ridiculous. Educate yourself, please.
However, other more complicated practices exist. Many off all their lights in their houses and burn candles whilst singing the words of Smash English videos.
Yes, yes, yes. This is definitely what people all around the world do. We have our subject, which is many, then we have a space, followed by a preposition, followed by an object, the lights. Let's think about the meaning. What are these people doing with their lights? Well, they're burning candles, which suggests that it's dark. What do you do with your lights to make the room dark? And can you think of a phrasal verb that means to do this? Turn off. Here, turn off means to stop the flow of electricity to a device. Yeah. Do you know all the meanings of turn off? Do you know all the phrasal verbs with turn? Of course you don't. So, video, link in the description. Turn. Great.
Animals have also been used to represent Toby. One woman famously remarked that if Toby an animal, he would be a lion. This is because of his great strength and golden hair.
There are two possible answers here. We have two clauses, and in the beginning of the first clause, we have if. This means this is a conditional structure. But which one? In the second clause, the result clause, the main clause, we have would followed by an infinitive. So which conditional requires would followed by an infinitive? Let's think about the function. Are we talking about something that's imaginary in the future? Something that's likely in the future? Something that's imaginary in the past? Or maybe an impossible present? So the function is talking about an impossible present. The form is with would plus an infinitive, so we know that we must use the second conditional. Let's think about the form of the second conditional then. We need if plus past simple in the first clause. So if Toby an animal, we need the verb be in the past simple if Toby was an animal. For the second conditional, we can also use the subjunctive tense, if Toby were an animal. In general, it is better to use were than was, but for part 2 of the use of English, the open-close part of the B2 First Cambridge exam, you can use was or were. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Video about the second conditional? You want to watch one? Link in the description.
Toby himself is a humble man. He usually goes alone and avoids the company of others.
Where does Toby go? Does he go to a specific place, or does he go places in general? I cannot see a specific place here, so I think the meaning of this sentence is more general. When Toby goes... where? Where's he going? Dunno. Can you think of a phrasal verb with go that means to just go to places in general? Go out. Yeah, go out. Very good. Link, phrasal verbs with go, go. That was good actually. Go. Phrasal verbs with go, go. Definitely will use that in this video. Yes.
Indeed, if more people were like Toby, the world would be a better place.
Now this one's a little bit more confusing. It looks like a second conditional, right? We're looking at the form and we can see all of the components of a second conditional. We have if plus the past simple, we have would plus an infinitive, but we know it's not the second conditional because we have a space between if and more. Oh yeah, good point. So let's stop looking at the form and let's look at the function. What is this person doing here? Are they just describing an imaginary present? Well, I don't think they are, because they are saying the world would be a better place. To me, it sounds like they are complaining about the fact that more people are not like Toby in this world. So this person is expressing a wish or a desire about the present. So we know the function. Now let's think about forms that can express this function, expressing wishes and desires about the present. I wish more people were like Toby. The world would be a better place. But we cannot use I wish because we have if. So, can you think of another expression that has this function that does not need wish and begins with if? If only. If only more people were like Toby, the world would be a better place. And what a fantastic sentence to finish this video on. But wait, Toby, I don't know how to use I wish and if only. Don't you worry, I have a video on it. Click the link in the description. So remember, for part 2 of the use of English paper of the B2 First Cambridge exam, think about 3 things every time you read a sentence. What does it mean? What is the function? And what is the form? If you do this, if you approach it logically, you will be fine. But we will make lots more videos about part 2 of the Use of English exam because you can never have too much practice, and we both love practice, don't we? And with that, we are finished. If you like the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby, and this was Smash English.